Good evening, all of you. I would request videos on all of you. Yeah, everybody. So we will go through this important chapter called as nutrition. All of you, I hope you have read this chapter well and it should go smooth and easy. So we should go through nutrition very, very quickly. Let's begin with this chapter. What does exactly nutrition comprise of? You take a piece of food and you put it in the mouth and you chew the food. Chewing food is called as mastication. Chewing of food is called as mastication. Your tongue, your teeth, and saliva from salivary glands help in the process of chewing, which is called as mastication. Then you swallow the food, and swallowing is called as deglutition. Deglutition. So chewing is called as mastication, swallowing is called as deglutition. Food enters from your mouth into the stomach and from stomach into the small intestine. Small intestine में there are secretions of different enzymes, and enzymes convert complex food into simple substances. So the conversion of complex food into simple food with the help of different enzymes is called as digestion. That process is called as digestion. So we had masticated and we had swallowed the food called ingestion. Then we digested it in the intestine with the help of enzymes, where complex food got broken into simple food, which was called as digestion. And then through the intestine, the food will go into blood vessels and lymph vessels. Blood vessels and lymph vessels, which is called as absorption. So that process is called as absorption. Then food accumulates in their simple forms in different cells of our body. हर एक cell में simple food reconverts into complex food. Simple food reconverts into complex food, which is called assimilation. And unwanted food is eliminated out of the alimentary canal, which is called as egestion. Egestion, also called as defecation or evacuation. चलो ये तो बहुत सिंपल है. What does the digestive system exactly consist of? It consists of alimentary canal, mouth. Mouth se food goes into the buccal cavity, lined by palate, tongue, and teeth. From the buccal cavity, food goes into the pharynx. Pharynx में तीन part होते हैं. You have oropharynx. You have to start with nasopharynx. You have oropharynx and you have laryngopharynx. तो ये तीन pharynx है. Then it goes in esophagus. From esophagus it enters into the stomach. Stomach में तीन parts है: cardiac, fundus, and pylorus. From there it enters into the small intestine. From stomach, first it enters into a C-shaped part called duodenum, then jejunum, and then ileum. Ileum opens into the large intestine, cecum, colon, and rectum. So this is your alimentary canal. And supporting the digestive system are found glands. Namely, we have salivary glands, parotid gland, sublingual gland, and submandibular gland. Parotid, sublingual, and submandibular gland. And then we have the pancreas and the liver. So you have pancreas, liver, and the salivary glands, which are called as the accessory glands. Chalo, ye bhi bahut simple tha. I'm just revising it. What is the buccal cavity? Buccal cavity is a space which is called as oral cavity. Above, it is lined by palate. Then we have the sides by jaws, and below there is a throat which supports the tongue. It is lined by squamous epithelium and mucous membrane. तो बकल कैविटी अगर ध्यान से देखें, दिस इज योर बकल कैविटी. सबसे ऊपर इज अ पार्ट कॉल्ड एज हार्ड पैलेट. This is called hard palate. Then, as you roll the tongue behind, there is a palate called as soft palate. And we have this ball-like structure which is called as the uvula. तो uvula होता है. And collectively, hard palate, soft palate, and uvula form the roof of the buccal cavity. That is roof of buccal cavity. Sides में कौन है? Sides में we have the jaws with the teeth, the upper jaws and lower jaw. Upper jaw which are called as maxillae, and lower jaws which are called as mandibles. So we have maxillae and mandible with the teeth, and then you have the tongue. The tongue is attached to the floor of the mouth by a ridge, and that ridge which attaches the tongue to the floor of the mouth is called as the lingual frenulum. तो टंग के नीचे एक रिज होता है which is called as lingual frenulum, and you have the upper surface of the tongue showing raised projections which are called as papillae. It's all there in the NCERT. What is that called as? Papillae. Papillae has sensory receptors for taste which are called as gustatory receptors. तो टंग के ऊपर raised projections होते हैं which are called papillae, and they have sensory receptors for taste called gustatory receptors. तो ये कौन है? ये याद रखना, given in the NCERT. ये है lingual frenulum. और surface of tongue पे कौन है? Surface of tongue के ऊपर है raised projections called as papillae, which have in them taste receptors called gustatory receptors. That's your oral cavity. Then you have teeth. Teeth are fitted into sockets of jaw bones. It is called thecodont. Teeth चार टाइप के होते हैं: incisors, canine, premolars, and molars. That is called heterodont. And teeth दो टाइप के होते हैं, which is called diphyodont. Teeth appear twice during lifetime, which is called diphyodont. You have milk teeth, which are called deciduous teeth, which are 20 in number, and permanent teeth, which are 32 in number. तो बच्चे के मुंह में कितने होते हैं? 20 teeth. Which are the 20 teeth? You have in the upper jaw, one side, upper jaw one side. से upper jaw के अंदर left side and right side, you have two incisors, no one canine, no premolar, and two molar. So you have two incisors, one canine, no premolar, and two molar. 2, 1, 0, 2. तो ये टोटल कितने दांत हो गए? 5. And similarly 2, 1, 0, 2, ये कितने दांत हो गए? 5. So this is right upper side, right upper jaw. This is left upper jaw. Oh, sorry, right lower jaw, right lower jaw. Similarly, we have 2, 1, 0, 2. which means a total of 5, left upper jaw, and we have 2102, which is on the 5 of them, which is the left lower jaw. तो टोटल राइट अपर जॉ में कितने हैं? अपर जॉ राइट साइड में 5 टीथ, राइट लोअर जॉ में कितने हैं? 5 टीथ, लेफ्ट अपर जॉ में कितने हैं? 5 टीथ, एंड लेफ्ट लोअर जॉ में कितने हैं? 5 टीथ. कौन सा दांत नहीं होता है बच्चों में? बच्चों में देयर आर नो premolars. Premolars are absent. And which other tooth is absent in a child?
Wisdom tooth.
Wisdom tooth.
Wisdom tooth, which is other words, the third molar. Third molar is absent. तो third molar नहीं होता है, and that means 2102 is the deciduous or 20 milk teeth. Now they fall off and are replaced by permanent teeth. उसमें 2 incisor आते हैं, 1 canine आता है, 2 premolar आते हैं, and 3 molar आते हैं. 3 molar. By the way, third molar को कहते हैं wisdom tooth. ये कौन सी एज पे आता है? Anybody?
18 to
After
20 years.
18 years.
Yeah, 18 year onwards.
Around 18.
Yes, more than 18 years later. So समझो it is a 2-year child. Then how many teeth they have?
20.
20. 2-year child. समझो it is a 16-year child. Then how many teeth they have?
28.
They will have 28. क्योंकि third molar on all sides is absent. So their pattern is 2122. 2122 is 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 fours are 28. So 16-year-old child has got 28 teeth. And how much will it be in a 20-year-old man? Will become
32.
So 2-year-old child has got 20 teeth. 16-year-old child has got 28 teeth. Okay, third molar, which is coming on all the sides, is absent. So dental pattern of a 2-year child is 2102. The dental pattern of a 16-year-old child is 2122. 2122, and in 20 years later, it becomes 2123. So, nice question from the NEET point of view. Which teeth are monophyodont, not diphyodont?
Premolars.
The premolar and the
Wisdom tooth.
Wisdom.
third molar are monophyodont. In other words, appears only once in life. Appears once in life. Only in adults. Only in adults. So, the premolar and the third molar, which in other word is the wisdom tooth, are not diphyodont, they are monophyodont. They appear only once in a life. ये याद रखना teeth के बारे में. Then, sir, what are the parts of a tooth? What is the upper shiny part of the tooth called as the enamel? जो हम लोग ब्रश करते हैं वो पार्ट कौन सा होता है? एनामल. एंड अंदर होता है एक बोनी पार्ट which is called dentine, and inside is a cavity which is called as pulp cavity, which has in it blood vessels and nerves. There are blood vessels and nerves. And the enamel, you may remember, is made up of cells which are called as amyloblasts. So amyloblasts divide to form the enamel. Dentine is made up of odontoblasts. Odontoblasts divide to form the dentine. And inside we have pulp cavity. पल्प कैविटी में ब्लड वेसल्स और नर्व्स होती है. कई बार सुना है बचपन में हम लोग के दांतों के बीच में फूड अटक जाता है, एंड दैट फूड के ऊपर बैक्टीरिया अटैक करते हैं, एंड बैक्टीरिया से पस बन जाता है. दिस पस एंटर्स इनटू द रूट कैविटी. रूट कैविटी के अंदर ये चला जाता है और पल्प कैविटी में वो चला जाता है, एंड पल्प कैविटी में पस जमा हो जाता है. एंड व्हाट इज पल्प कैविटी हैविंग इन इट? ब्लड वेसल्स एंड नर्व्स. Pulp cavity has blood vessels and nerves. So now the pus will go and infect blood vessels and nerves को stimulate करेगा. As pus stimulates nerves, it causes pain, and the child is having an infection called caries of the tooth. दांतों में caries हो गया है. Anybody knows क्या करना पड़ेगा ये पस को निकालने के लिए?
Root canal.
Canal.
treatment.
Yes, you all have heard of it. You have undergone it. You undergo a root canal treatment. तो रूट कैनाल करते हैं, उसके अंदर एनामल के अंदर एक होल बनाते हैं, डेंटाइन में होल बनाते हैं, और पल्प कैविटी तक वो होल बनाते हैं, and then they put a suction machine inside and they suck out the entire pulp cavity. पूरे पल्प कैविटी को सक आउट कर लेते हैं, तो उसमें पास along with it ब्लड वेसल्स, नर्व्स, सब कुछ पस निकाल देते हैं, and the entire pulp cavity is made empty. तो ये पूरा जगह खाली हो जाता है. Now can you let it remain empty? ये क्या वैक्यूम रह सकता है? खाली तो नहीं रख सकते हैं. तो इसके अंदर भर देते हैं सीमेंट. तो बाहर से इसमें सीमेंट डाल देते हैं, which is called as bone cement. तो बाहर से bone cement डालते हैं, and you fill up the pulp cavity. पल्प कैविटी को भर देते हैं बोन सीमेंट के साथ, और उसके ऊपर एक मेटल का कैप लगा देते हैं, क्योंकि आपने होल किया था तो होल को खाली तो नहीं जोड़ सकते हैं, तो उसके ऊपर एक मेटालिक कैप डाल देते हैं, एंड दैट इज कॉल्ड एज अ कैप. कैप जो पहले के जमाने में सिल्वर की होती थी या गोल्ड की होती थी. Nowadays, of course, we use better materials which are called as ceramics. तो ceramic material का, porcelain material का कैप डालते हैं, which has a visibility exactly like that of enamel. तो enamel जैसा दिखता है वैसा ही एक कैप डाल देते हैं. तो अंदर कौन है? अंदर है बोन सीमेंट, और ऊपर जो कैप है वो कैप किसकी बनाते हैं? सिरेमिक्स की यानी पोर्सिलिन की, और उससे रूट कैनाल ट्रीटमेंट को कंप्लीट किया जाता है. सो दैट इज कॉल्ड एज अ रूट कैनाल ट्रीटमेंट. आइए याद रखना. देन वी हैव द फैरिंग्स. फैरिंग्स में कौन कौन से पार्ट्स है? नोज से अंदर जो जाता है एयर, that is called nasopharynx, and nasopharynx से air goes in the oropharynx, and food goes from buccal cavity into the oropharynx. Oropharynx leads into a common opening which is called as laryngopharynx. So nose में से air आती है, what is that called as? Nasopharynx. Buccal cavity से food आता है, what is that called as? Oropharynx. And where does air from nasopharynx and food from oropharynx open into? A common pharynx which is called as laryngopharynx. So ये common pharynx है called laryngopharynx. From laryngopharynx, food will go into the food pipe, which is your esophagus, and air goes into your windpipe, which is your trachea. Now, how do you ensure that food does not enter into the trachea?
Epiglottis.
Epiglottis.
Just ये है आपका ट्रैकिया. ट्रैकिया के ऊपर एक छोटा ओपनिंग है. That opening is called as the glottis. और उसके ऊपर एक cartilage होती है. That cartilage is called as the epiglottis. So as soon as food enters into the laryngopharynx, the epiglottis closes downward. और epiglottis नीचे आता है and it closes the glottis. तो glottis को epiglottis जाके cover कर लेता है and ensures that food does not enter into the trachea and food goes straight away into the esophagus. So who covers the glottis? Glottis, which is opening of trachea, the glottis is covered by the cartilage, which is called as epiglottis. So epiglottis closes the glottis. Epiglottis closes the glottis. And then we have esophagus. Esophagus is about 25 centimeter long and it has longitudinal muscles. Longitudinal muscles होते हैं और circular muscles होते हैं. Circular muscles होते हैं. So it has got longitudinal and circular muscles, and when food enters from the pharynx into the esophagus by longitudinal muscles contract up and down. Longitudinal muscle से ऊपर नीचे contract होता है and circular muscle से in and out contract होता है and longitudinal muscle से up and down contract होता है and circular muscle से in and out contract होता है and that will cause movements in the esophagus which are called as peristaltic movements. वो कौन से movements है आपके? Peristaltic movements. So peristaltic movements take place in the esophagus. तो esophagus में कौन से movements है? Peristaltic movements. ये याद रखना है. Then we have stomach. Stomach is a J-shaped organ and उसमें 25-30 centimeter long होता है stomach, made up of 3 parts. Esophagus opens into a part of the stomach which is called as cardiac. Esophagus opens into a part of the stomach called cardiac. Cardiac के ऊपर एक upper part होता है which is called as the fundus. And fundus के नीचे cardiac और cardiac के नीचे एक छोटा part होता है which is called as the pylorus. So which is the uppermost part? Fundus. Esophagus opens into which part? Cardiac. And cardiac opens into which part? Pylorus. Pylorus opens into the small intestine, in other words, into the duodenum. Pylorus opens into the duodenum. So esophagus opens into which part? Esophagus opens into which part? Cardiac. And pylorus opens into which part? Duodenum. Pylorus opens into which part? Duodenum. And there are valves, sphincters the opening of the esophagus into the cardiac stomach is guarded by a sphincter which is called as the gastroesophageal sphincter. Gastroesophageal sphincter, which is also called as cardiac sphincter. Gastroesophageal sphincter is also called cardiac sphincter because it opens into which part of the stomach? Cardiac part. So the sphincter is also called as cardiac sphincter. And pylorus opens into duodenum, again guarded by a sphincter that is called as the pyloric sphincter. So वो कौन सा हो गया? Pyloric sphincter. So we have above gastroesophageal sphincter, also called as cardiac sphincter, and pylorus opens into duodenum guarded by a sphincter which is called as pyloric sphincter. ये दोनों sphincters याद रखते हैं. And then small intestine, which are the three parts of small intestine? You have duodenum, you have jejunum, and you have ileum. Anything special about duodenum? ये है stomach. Stomach opens into duodenum, which is U-shaped or C-shaped. And ये है liver. Liver से आता है bile duct और pancreas से आता है pancreatic duct. The bile duct and the pancreatic duct join to form the hepatopancreatic duct, which opens into the duodenum. तो duodenum में क्या open होता है? Hepatopancreatic duct. And maximum digestion takes place in the duodenum. Maximum breakdown or digestion takes place in the duodenum. Maximum digestion takes place in the duodenum. And ये है duodenum और duodenum के बाद ये है jejunum और ये है ileum. So this is duodenum and you have jejunum and ileum. Where does maximum digestion take place? Maximum digestion is in the duodenum. Maximum digestion takes place in the duodenum. Where does maximum absorption take place?
Jejunum.
Maximum absorption takes place in the jejunum and the ileum, but to be more specific, maximum absorption takes place in the jejunum. याद रखना, maximum absorption takes place in the jejunum. ये याद रखना. Where does maximum digestion take place? In the duodenum. Where does maximum absorption take place? In the jejunum. And then we have the large intestine. Large intestine, ileum opens in a sac, which is called as the ileocecal valve or ileocolic valve. Ileocecal valve. And ileocecal valve hosts symbiotic bacteria. Symbiotic bacteria are present inside the cecum. तो cecum के अंदर symbiotic bacteria रहते हैं, and with symbiotic bacteria, E. coli. And E. coli make vitamin K and vitamin B12. तो वो आपके symbiotic bacteria which are found in the cecum making vitamin K and vitamin B12 for us. And there is an appendix, vermiform appendix. Any function of vermiform appendix in humans? Hello? Yeah, able to hear me, all of you, beta?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Any function of vermiform appendix in humans?
No.
It is supposed to be vestigial. It is supposed to be vestigial as given in the NCERT. What is the function of appendix otherwise? तो है ही क्यों appendix?
Breakdown of cell.
Digest
Was it
cellulose.
Herbivores. It helps in digestion of cellulose. So appendix has in it cellulase. Cellulase digests cellulose. And cellulose digest होता है herbivorous animal में. Cows, buffaloes, camel, deer, ये सब तो घास ही खाते हैं और घास में स्टार्च नहीं होता है. स्टार्च की जगह सेल्यूलोज होता है. तो ये बेचारे एनिमल सरवाइव कैसे करेंगे? वो लोग स्टार्च तो नहीं खाते हैं. स्टार्च हम ह्यूमंस खाते हैं. तो इनके अंदर अपेंडिक्स से निकलेगा सेल्यूलेज which will digest cellulose and convert cellulose into sugar. In other words, into glucose. So appendix is vestigial in humans, but it is not vestigial in other animals, herbivores, and it helps in digestion of cellulose. Then we have colon. Colon has 4 parts: ascending colon, transverse colon, descending colon, and sigmoid colon. So we have ascending colon, transverse colon, descending colon, and sigmoid colon. And colon opens into the last part called rectum. Before defecation, fecal matter is stored in the rectum. Fecal matter is stored in the rectum. And you get up in the morning, you get an urge for defecation. And by a neural reflex, एक brain से reflex action आता है that will make the rectum contract. और rectum contract होगा and fecal matter will pass through the anus, and through the anus stools will pass out by that reflex which is called as a neural reflex. And then we have the anus. Anus is guarded by a sphincter. तो anus में sphincter होता है. ये है आपका ascending, transverse, descending, sigmoid colon, rectum, और ये rectum है और ये anus है. Anus में sphincter होता है. So there is a sphincter which is voluntary. So are we able to control the contraction of rectum? क्या rectum का contraction हम लोग control कर सकते हैं?
No.
No, if you remember, that is a neural reflex. वो तो neural reflex है. Then how are we able to prevent stools from passing out? Because the anal sphincter is voluntary. Anal sphincter is voluntary. So we are able to hold fecal matter inside the rectum. Though rectum is contracting by a reflex action. But because of a voluntary control over the anal sphincter, we are able to hold our fecal matter. Then we go into the washroom and we cause a voluntary relaxation of the anal sphincter. And once the anal sphincter relaxes, then stools pass out, which is called as defecation. And rectum area में बहुत सारे blood vessels होते हैं. कई बार because of constipation, fecal matter rectum में बहुत जमा हो जाता है, and when this fecal matter goes out, it carries blood vessels out with it. तो rectum की blood vessels बाहर निकल जाती है, and through the anus rectal veins are seen. Rectal veins open into anus. Rectal veins open into anus, and if you've heard of it, this condition is called as piles. इसे piles कहते हैं, which is scientifically called as hemorrhoids. Piles, also called as hemorrhoids or piles, is due to protrusion of rectal veins. Rectal veins protrude through the anus. That condition is called as piles. Chalo, सबको समझ में आया all of you? So this was the tract in detail. Then we have the salivary gland. Now we go into a difficult part of the chapter. अब तक बहुत simple था. You knew everything. Now we go in a little difficult part.
So, so
Yeah, beta.
So appendix is also considered as a lymphatic organ, right?
Yes, beta. Appendix is also a lymphatic organ. Correct.
Then why is it called vestigial?
Because it's given in the NCRT. Otherwise, it's not vestigial. Yeah, beta. Yeah, just one second. Okay. So we have glands. Sir, आपके sublingual, submandibular and parotid glands. Cheeks के सामने होते हैं parotid gland. Jaws में होते हैं submandibular gland. और tongue के नीचे होता है sublingual gland. And these glands have in them serous cells which produce salivary amylase, also called ptyalin. तो ये word याद रखना. What is salivary amylase, also called as ptyalin? And mucus cells होते हैं which produce mucus, which binds the food and makes it slippery so it can be easily swallowed. And mucus cells are called as goblet cells. So mucus cells, also called goblet cells, give out mucus for lubrication. And serous cells give out salivary amylase, also called as ptyalin, which helps in digestion of starch. ये आपके salivary gland. Then we have the stomach. Chalo, now we are starting the lecture actually. Till now it was all very simple. अब main part chapter में जाते हैं. ये है stomach. Stomach has in it lot of folds. Stomach में folds होते हैं. What are these folds of the stomach called as?
Rugae.
Folds of the stomach are called as rugae. Folds of stomach are called as rugae. And the stomach has 4 layers in it. 4 अलग-अलग layer होती है. Starting from outside in, the outermost is called serosa. The middle layer is called muscularis. Inner to it is the submucosa, and the innermost layer is called mucosa. So you have serosa, you have muscularis, you have submucosa, and you have mucosa, 4 layers of the stomach. Which layer forms rugae? रुगे कौन से लेयर से बनेगा?
Mucosa.
Mucosa. The mucosa is innermost layer, so mucosa forms rugae. Rugae is formed by mucosa. Now let's see these layers. Serosa is the outermost layer. It is made up of special epithelial cells which are called as mesothelium. What are the special epithelial cells called as? Mesothelium, which are squamous epithelium cells. ये है squamous epithelial cells. Squamous epithelial cells. Mesothelium. And then we have the muscularis layer. Muscularis layer is made up of 3 layers of muscles. Muscularis 3 लेयर की है. सबसे बाहर you have longitudinal muscles. Inner to it you have circular layer of muscles, and सबसे अंदर you have oblique layer of muscles. So ये कौन है? Longitudinal. फिर ये कौन है? Circular. और ये सबसे अंदर कौन सी है? Oblique layer. तो मस्कुलरिस में कितने लेयर ऑफ मसल्स है? There are 3 layers of muscles in the muscularis. 3 layers of muscle. And under the muscularis is the submucosa. Submucosa is made up of blood vessels and lymph vessels. So if they ask you which layer of the digestive system has blood vessels and lymph vessels, blood vessels and lymph vessels, तो blood vessels और lymph vessels कौन से layer में है? Blood vessels and lymph vessels are in the submucosa. Blood vessels and lymph vessels are in the submucosa. Then we have mucosa, innermost layer. It is made up of 2 layers of muscles. 2 layers of muscles, which is called as muscularis mucosa. Usme outermost is again longitudinal and inner layer is again circular. तो आप लोग मुझे ये बताइए, स्टमक में टोटल मसल लेयर कितने हैं?
Total 5 muscle layers.
5 muscle layer. If you remember, muscularis was made up of longitudinal, circular and oblique muscles. And then muscularis mucosa again has got longitudinal and circular muscles. So total 5 layer हो गई longitudinal, circular and oblique muscles of muscularis and longitudinal and circular muscles of muscularis mucosa, a total of 5 layers of muscles in the stomach. 5 layers of muscles in the stomach. 5 layers of muscles in the stomach. And then we have muscularis mucosa के नीचे lamina propria. And then we have simple columnar epithelium. तो ये है muscularis mucosa. फिर उसके अंदर ये है lamina propria. Lamina propria has in it blood vessels and nerves. Lamina propria में blood vessels और nerves होती है. Blood vessels और nerves होती है. And it is covered by a single layer of cells which are called as simple columnar epithelium. Simple columnar epithelium. Simple columnar epithelium. तो tell me, माउथ में कौन सा एपिथेलियम था? Mouth had in it squamous epithelium, which was a single layer of cuboidal or columnar cell. By the way, esophagus में कौन सा layer है? ये दिया नहीं है NCERT में. Anybody knows?
Ciliated. नहीं,
Stratified squamous. Esophagus has in it stratified squamous epithelium. Stratified squamous epithelium, which is cuboidal cell, one layer के ऊपर one more layer के ऊपर one more layer के ऊपर वन मोर लेयर। तो माउथ में एक ही लेयर ऑफ क्यूबॉइडल सेल्स है, एक लेयर ऑफ क्यूबॉइडल सेल्स है, दैट इज कॉल्ड स्क्वामस। एंड esophagus has many layer of cuboidal epithelium cells, that is called stratified squamous. And then we have stomach. stomach में कौन सा लेयर है? stomach में we have simple columnar epithelium. stomach we have simple columnar epithelium. Which is a single layer, but not of cuboidal cells, but of columnar cell. So these cells are not cuboidal, but they are columnar cell. So it is called simple columnar epithelium. What is that called as? Simple columnar epithelium. So this is the histology of the stomach. And then we have the cells which are secreting their secretions in the stomach. So stomach mein we have chief cells or peptic cells. ये ध्यान से सुनना, you have chief cells or peptic cells. Chief cells or peptic cells, what do they secrete? Chief cells or peptic cells secrete pepsinogen. Chief cells or peptic cells give out pepsinogen, but they also give out gastric lipase. ये आपके एनसीईआरटी में दिया है, स्टमक में गैस्ट्रिक लाइपेज भी सिक्रीट होता है. And who secretes gastric lipase? Chief cells, also called peptic cells, secrete pepsinogen, ये तो मालूम ही है, which also secretes gastric lipase. So chief cells or peptic cells secrete pepsinogen and gastric lipase. वो यहाँ base of the villus में होता है. फिर middle of the रुगे में, base of the रुगे में, middle of the रुगे you have parietal cells. Parietal cells, also called oxyntic cells. They secrete hydrochloric acid and intrinsic factor. Hydrochloric acid and intrinsic factor. What is the function of the intrinsic factor?
Absorption of vitamin B12.
And it is called Castle's intrinsic factor. इसे Castle's intrinsic factor कहते हैं, which helps in absorption of vitamin B12. And then there are cells which are called as mucus cells. What is the function of mucus cells or bicarbonate cells? Bicarbonate secreting cells, also called goblet cells. What is the function of mucus secreting goblet cell?
Protect the cell from high pH of HCl.
It protects the gastric epithelium from the action of HCl. Stomach में HCl is so concentrated that the pH is 1.8. इतना कम pH होता है. And at that very concentrated pH, HCl will destroy the entire epithelium of the stomach. Stomach epithelium ही destroy हो जाएगा. Who will form a nice layer and coat the entire stomach epithelium? The entire coating is done by mucus. Mucus and bicarbonates given by the neck cells. इन cells को क्या कहते हैं? Neck cells. ये neck cells होते हैं, neck पे होते हैं. Neck cells, also called goblet cells. Neck cells, also called goblet cells, will give out mucus and bicarbonates and protect the gastric epithelium. तो वो gastric epithelium को protect करते हैं. And at the base of each ruga are found cells which are called as G cells. And G cell hota hai which gives out the hormone called gastrin. Anybody can tell me what is the function of gastrin?
It causes the release of various secretions.
Exactly. Gastrin stimulates the chief cells to give out pepsinogen. Gastrin stimulates the parietal cells to give out hydrochloric acid, an intrinsic factor. So, the release of pepsinogen, release of gastric lipase, and release of HCl, intrinsic factor, pepsinogen, lipase, ये सबको stimulate कौन करता है? It is all stimulated by gastrin. Gastrin stimulates release of HCl, intrinsic factor, pepsinogen, lipase, everything is stimulated by gastrin. So, parietal cells and chief cells are stimulated by G cells. G cells give out gastrin, which stimulates chief cells and parietal cells to give out all the different chemicals. याद रखना. Yeah, Vaishnavi is saying goblet cells are given for intestinal mucosa. Yes, beta. Stomach also and intestinal mucosa also, all are called as goblet cell. All mucus secreting cells are called goblet cells. Right. And then we have histology of the small intestine. A small intestine के अंदर folds होते हैं. What are folds of the small intestine called?
villi,
तो stomach के folds को क्या कहते थे हम लोग?
Rugae.
Stomach folds were called rugae, and intestinal folds are called as villi. ये खास याद रखना. And what does the intestine have? Intestine has same serosa, which is made up of mesothelium, and it has muscularis. What is the difference between muscularis of stomach and muscularis of small intestine?
intestine does not have oblique muscle layer.
Correct. It has got only longitudinal and circular muscles. The oblique muscles are absent in the small intestine. Oblique muscles are found only in the stomach. So, which muscles are found in small intestine? Only longitudinal and circular muscles. No oblique muscles in the small intestine. And you have submucosa, which is same, made up of blood vessels and lymph vessels. And then we have mucosa, which is also same, made of muscularis mucosa, longitudinal and circular muscles, and then there is lamina propria, and there is epithelium. Which epithelium is present? Which kind of epithelium?
Columnar.
Columnar. Is it simple columnar?
It's brush bordered columnar.
Correct. So stomach में है columnar. ये है stomach, where it is simple columnar. Stomach has simple columnar. Intestine has in it cells like these, and ये है brush border cells. These cells are called brush border cells, and these cells are also called microvilli cells. Can you tell me what is the advantage of having microvilli?
Increases
higher
surface area
absorption.
for absorption.
Surface area for absorption. तो ये surface area for absorption बढ़ जाएगा. And this is intestine. By the way, Vishal sir has taught you what is such a kind of epithelium with microvilli or brush border scientifically called as. You have done it in study of tissue. Anybody remembers what is this called as?
Ciliated epithelium.
Ciliated? Beta cilia are for movement. यहाँ movement नहीं हो रहा है. This is called non-ciliated columnar epithelium. Non-ciliated columnar epithelium. So है तो columnar epithelium, but इसे कहते हैं non-ciliated columnar epithelium. तो नीट पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू से माउथ में कौन सा एपिथेलियम है? माउथ में है स्क्वामस. ईसोफेगस में कौन सा एपिथेलियम है? ईसोफेगस में है स्ट्रैटिफाइड स्क्वामस. स्टमक में कौन सा एपिथेलियम है? स्टमक में है सिंपल कॉलमनार. और इंटेस्टाइन में कौन सा है? इंटेस्टाइन में है माइक्रोविलाई. और ब्रश बॉर्डर. which is also called as non-ciliated columnar epithelium. Non-ciliated columnar epithelium. ये याद रखना. Mouth has in it squamous, esophagus has in it stratified squamous, stomach has in it simple columnar, and intestine has microvilli or brush border, which is non-ciliated columnar epithelium. All of you remember that. Correct. And then we have anything else in the intestine. Intestine में और कुछ special होता है? This is the submucosa of the intestine. Submucosa में कुछ special सुना है?
Lymphatic vessels.
There are lymphatic vessels.
Pannate cells.
हाँ.
Pannate cells.
Submucosa of duodenum. Brunner's gland. Submucosa of duodenum has in it specialized glands which are called as Brunner's glands. And Brunner's glands give out a lot of mucus which helps in neutralizing the HCl. So, submucosa of duodenum has in it Brunner's gland which give out mucus which neutralizes HCl. ध्यान से सुनना, ये है स्टमक, और स्टमक से फूड पहले किधर होगा एंटर? डिओडेनम. स्टमक का पीएच कितना है? 1.8. और डिओडेनम का पीएच कितना है? 7.8. Stomach is 1.8 pH, duodenum is 7.8 pH. So that means HCl has to be neutralized. And who will help in neutralizing HCl? HCl is neutralized by डिओडेनम, जिसके सब म्यूकोजा में है स्पेशल ग्लैंड which are called as Brunner's gland. And Brunner's gland give out a lot of mucus, and that mucus will help in neutralizing HCl and make the pH of the duodenum from 1.8 become 7.8. So, where are the Brunner's gland found? Brunner's gland are found in the submucosa of the duodenum. Brunner's gland are found in the submucosa of duodenum. Now, ये याद रखना. It's given in the NCERT. Anything else special about intestine?
Citrus and dericus.
हाँ. What are the cells called as? Microvilli.
Goblet.
Cells बताया microvilli or brush border. Anything else we talked about? There are Brunner's gland in the duodenum, submucosa.
Intestinal juice.
Okay. Anything else? दो चीज special हो गई. In the center of each villus are found lymph vessels. What are lymph vessels called? Lacteals. So, in the center of each villus is found lymph vessel called as lacteal. What is the speciality of lacteal?
Absorption of fat.
Absorption of fats. Absorption of fats is done by lacteals. Lacteals blood vessel में absorb नहीं होते हैं. Lacteals other fats blood vessel में absorb नहीं होते हैं. Fats हमेशा lacteals में absorb होते हैं. Fats हमेशा lacteals में absorb होते हैं. हाँ, ये याद रखना. And between रुगे के बीच में there are pits which are called as gastric pits. रुगे के बीच में pits are called as gastric pits. Between villi are found pits. What are these pits called between villi?
Crypts of Lieberkühn.
Crypts of Lieberkühn. Crypts of Lieberkühn are crypts which are found in between the villi. And in the gastric pits is found gastric juice. Gastric pit में होता है gastric juice. Similarly, crypts of Lieberkühn have in it intestinal juice. What is intestinal juice called as?
Succus entericus.
Entericus. Intestinal juice is called as succus entericus. Succus entericus. ये याद रखना, which will help in digestion of food. तो उसे succus entericus कहते हैं. Correct. And cells. So, ध्यान से सुनना. At the base of the villi are found enteroendocrine cells which give out the hormone called secretin, cholecystokinin, and gastric inhibitory peptide. तो आपके स्टमक में कौन सा हार्मोन सीक्रेट हुआ था?
Gastrin.
स्टमक में cells gave out gastrin. G cells gave out gastrin. और आपके intestine में enteroendocrine cells give out which hormone? Secretin cholecystokinin and gastric inhibitory peptide. तो टोटल हार्मोन कितने हो गए इंटेस्टाइन और स्टमक मिला के?
4.
4.
4 hormones.
Stomach gives out gastrin, intestine gives out secretin, cholecystokinin and gastric inhibitory peptide. So secretin, cholecystokinin and gastric inhibitory peptide. So we have gastrin given by stomach, which is number 1. We have secretin. So we have gastrin given by stomach, which is number 1. We have secretin given by intestine. We have cholecystokinin given by intestine. And we have gastric inhibitory peptide given by intestine. So total 4 hormone hai concerned with the digestive system. 4 hormones are concerned with the digestive system. And we will know about these hormones. And at the base of each villus are found special cells which are called Paneth cells. और ये ना आपके एनसीईआरटी में लिख लेना, ये नीट में पूछा गया है. It has been asked in the NEET that at the base of the villus are found Paneth cells. Paneth cells give out lysozymes which help in phagocytosing microorganisms. So there are lysozymes which phagocytose microorganisms. तो microorganism को phagocytose करने के लिए there are lysozymes given by the stomach. Lysozyme given by the intestine. I'm sorry. Lysozymes given by intestine which help in phagocytosing. And yes, secretin was the first hormone to be discovered. Correct, Arya? Secretin was the first hormone to have been discovered. Correct. So yaad rakhna, Paneth cells give out lysozyme. Anywhere else lysozyme is given?
In the mouth also.
Saliva. Saliva also has in it lysozyme which kills bacteria. Similarly, intestine mein Paneth cells have in them lysozyme which kill bacteria. And there are other special cells which are called as argentephine cells. In the intestine, argentephine cells, also called as enterochromaffin cells. So, argentephine cells, also called enterochromaffin cell, they give out a hormone called as serotonin. ये हमने अभी अभी किया था. सेरोटोनिन कौन सिक्रीट करता है?
Pineal.
Correct. So we have argentephine cells giving out serotonin, जो आपका pineal gland भी सिक्रीट करता है. और याद है, in the brain, serotonin is for mood. It's for preventing depression. In the intestine, same serotonin helps in increasing motility of intestine. Intestine की motility is done by serotonin. Serotonin increases motility of the intestine. Peristalsis is done by serotonin. Peristalsis is done by serotonin. So, argentephine cells give out serotonin, which increases motility of intestine, enhances peristalsis of the intestine. ये याद रखना. Beautiful point. Correct. And then we have the liver. Now, ये बहुत जल्दी जल्दी हम लोग करने वाले हैं. लिवर के अंदर ये है कवरिंग. What is the covering of the liver called?
Glissan's capsule.
Glissan's capsule. And glissan capsule forms lobes inside the liver. Glissan capsules forms lobes inside the liver, which are called as hepatic lobes. What are the lobes called as? Hepatic lobes. Hepatic lobes are formed in the liver. Hepatic lobes. Who forms the hepatic lobes? Glissan's capsule goes inside the liver and forms hepatic lobes. तो it is Glissan's capsule जिससे hepatic lobes बनते हैं. And hepatic lobes are the structural and functional units. Hepatic lobes are the structural and functional units. तो ये कौन सा कैप्सूल है? Glissan's capsule. ये कौन सा कैप्सूल है? Glissan's capsule. तो मैं दिखा रहा हूं लिवर, उसके अंदर ये है Glissan's capsule. और ग्लिसन कैप्सूल ने अंदर जाके क्या बना दिया है? लोब्स, which are called as hepatic lobes. तो ये कैप्सूल कौन सा है? ये वाला कैप्सूल कौन सा है? Glissan's capsule. Are you with me? And in each lobe are found liver cells. Liver cells are called as hepatocytes. They are arranged in the form of cords, which are called as hepatic cords. So what is hepatic cord made up of? Cells which are called as hepatocytes. So individual cells are called as hepatocytes. And hepatocytes form hepatic cords. And there are areas which are called as portal areas. So periphery pe there are areas which are called as portal areas. तो ये है portal area. अभी ध्यान से देखना, ये है liver और ये आपका हार्ट है. हार्ट में से आता है एओर्टा. एओर्टा का एक ब्रांच बनता है आर्टरी कॉल्ड हेपाटिक आर्टरी. ये हेपाटिक आर्टरी. और ये है आपका स्टमक. स्टमक से आता है डिओडेनम. डिओडेनम से आता है जेजुनम. Where does maximum absorption take place in?
Jejunum.
Jejunum. And where will food go into the villi? villi होते हैं ना उसके अंदर. जेजुनम के म्यूकोसा में villi होते हैं. What do villi have in them? Blood vessels and lymph vessels called lacteals. Blood vessels and lymph vessels called lacteals. So, what do these blood vessels and lymph vessels join to form? They form a vein which enters the liver. Anybody know?
Hepatic portal vein.
Correct. That vein is called hepatic portal vein. तो जैसे हमने किया था हाइपोथैलेमस से पिट्यूटरी, कैपिलरी फॉर्म वेन फॉर्म कैपिलरी. Similarly, capillaries form vein and vein will enter inside and again form capillary. So what is that vein called? Hepatic portal vein. Hepatic portal vein. So how many structures are entering the liver? There is blood entering in through hepatic artery. There is blood entering in through hepatic portal vein. There is lymph entering in through lacteals. And what is lymph bringing with it?
Fats absorbed. Fats that are
Fats absorbed from the intestine. Fats absorbed from intestine is brought by lacteals into the liver. So liver में hepatic artery भी enter होती है, hepatic portal vein भी enter होता है और लैक्टील्स भी एंटर होता है। 3 चीजें लिवर में एंटर होती है, 3 चीजें, हेपाटिक आर्टरी, हेपाटिक पोर्टल वेन और लैक्टील्स। 3 सब्सटेंसेस एंटर इनटू द लिवर। और लिवर से एक वेन बाहर जाती है, लिवर से एक वेन बाहर जाती है, दैट इज कॉल्ड एज हेपाटिक वेन। वो कौन सी वेन है? हेपाटिक वेन। तो यू टेल मी, लिवर में एंटर कौन सी वेन होती है?
Hepatic portal vein.
लिवर के अंदर कौन सी वेन जाती है? हेपाटिक पोर्टल वेन। इट एंटर्स द लिवर फ्रॉम इंटेस्टाइन। और लिवर से बाहर कौन जाती है?
Hepatic.
हेपाटिक वेन। तो व्हाट एंटर्स इज हेपाटिक आर्टरी, what goes out is hepatic vein, like every organ. What will enter in is the hepatic artery, what will go out is the hepatic vein. But which other special structures have entered the liver? Liver में और special क्या enter हुआ? Hepatic portal vein and lacteals have entered. Hepatic portal vein and lacteals have entered. Now liver के अंदर hepatic artery, हेपैटिक पोर्टल वेन एंड लैक्टील्स। ये है हेपैटिक आर्टरी, ये है हेपैटिक पोर्टल वेन और ये है लैक्टील्स। उसके ब्रांचेस बनेंगे एंड ईच ब्रांच एंटर्स इनटू अ लोब्यूल इन एन एरिया कॉल्ड एज पोर्टल एरिया। तो ये है लिवर और ये है लोब्यूल, ये है लोब्यूल। और लोब्यूल के बीच में ये कौन से एरिया है? ये है लोब्यूल, ये है लोब्यूल। और उसके बीच में ये एरिया कौन सा है? पोर्टल एरिया। तो समझो ये है लोब्यूल, फिर ये भी है लोब्यूल, 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 लोब्यूल। तो लोब्यूल के बीच में ये जो स्पेशल एरिया है, व्हाट इज द स्पेशल एरिया कॉल्ड?
Portal area.
स्पेशल एरिया इज कॉल्ड पोर्टल एरिया। स्पेशल एरिया इज कॉल्ड पोर्टल एरिया। आर यू विथ मी ऑल ऑफ यू? तो ये है पोर्टल एरिया, ये है पोर्टल एरिया, ये है पोर्टल एरिया, ये है पोर्टल एरिया। एंड पोर्टल एरिया में क्या क्या आता है? हेपैटिक आर्टरी का एक ब्रांच पोर्टल एरिया में आता है, फिर हेपैटिक पोर्टल वेन का एक ब्रांच पोर्टल एरिया में आता है और लैक्टील का एक ब्रांच पोर्टल एरिया में आता है। तो पोर्टल एरिया में किस किस के ब्रांचेस आते हैं? हेपैटिक आर्टरी का ब्रांच, हेपैटिक पोर्टल वेन का ब्रांच और लैक्टील का ब्रांच। ये तीनों पोर्टल एरिया में आते हैं। सो वंस अगेन, ये है लोब्यूल, ये है लोब्यूल और लोब्यूल में ये है पोर्टल एरिया। उसमें किस किस के ब्रांचेस है? हेपैटिक आर्टरी का ब्रांच जो यहां पर है, हेपैटिक आर्टरी का ब्रांच, हेपैटिक आर्टरी का ब्रांच, हेपैटिक आर्टरी का ब्रांच, हेपैटिक आर्टरी का ब्रांच, हेपैटिक आर्टरी का ब्रांच। तो ये हेपैटिक आर्टरी के ब्रांच एंड हेपैटिक पोर्टल वेन का ब्रांच, हेपैटिक पोर्टल वेन का ब्रांच। So this is hepatic artery branch. This is hepatic portal vein का branch. And there is lymph vessel का branch. Lymph vessel का branch. Lymph vessel, in other word, lacteal का branch. हाँ या ना? All of you. and from hepatic artery, blood will enter into empty space, क्योंकि ये है hepatic cord, और hepatic cord के बीच में there are empty spaces which are called as sinusoids. What are the empty spaces called as? Sinusoids. तो sinusoids के अंदर blood जाता है, हेपाटिक आर्टरी का भी ब्लड जाता है, हेपाटिक पोर्टल वेन का भी ब्लड जाता है, और लिम्फ वेसल्स में से लिम्फ भी अंदर जाता है. तो लिम्फ वेसल्स में से लिम्फ, हेपाटिक आर्टरी में से ब्लड, और हेपाटिक पोर्टल वेन्स में से भी ब्लड, and all this blood will enter empty spaces called sinusoids, and sinusoids will enter into a vein which is called central vein. Sinusoids will enter a vein called central vein. तो अगर लिवर को वापस ध्यान से देखें, what are these areas called? ये कौन है? ये कौन है?
Hepatic lobules.
हेपाटिक लोब्यूल. ये किसका ब्रांच है? ये अरे ये कौन सा ब्लड वेसल है?
hepatic artery,
Hepatic artery.
हेपाटिक आर्टरी. हाँ या ना? फिर ये कौन सा ब्लड वेसल है?
Hepatic portal vein.
पोर्टल वेन. हेपाटिक पोर्टल वेन. और ये कौन है?
Lacteal.
लैक्टील. हाँ या ना? तो ये है हेपाटिक आर्टरी which has come from aorta. ये है हेपाटिक पोर्टल वेन which has come from liver. ये है लैक्टील which has also hepatic portal vein, hepatic portal vein which has come from intestine. और ये है lacteal which has also come from intestine. And where does hepatic artery, hepatic portal vein and lacteal open into area called
Portal area.
portal area? तो ये सब किधर प्रेजेंट है? portal area में. And from portal area, where will it all enter into?
Hepatic.
Into ये है hepatic cords. ये है hepatic cords. तो ये है hepatic cords. Hepatic cords are made up of hepatocytes. और hepatocytes के बीच में जो empty space है, what is that empty space called?
Sinusoids.
Sinusoids. So hepatic artery का blood enters into sinusoid. Hepatic portal vein का blood enters into portal area and then enters into sinusoid. Similarly, lacteals का lymph enters into portal area, enters into sinusoid. And sinusoid से where will it now enter? Into the
Central vein.
central vein. Vein called central vein. And central veins join together to form the big vein which is called as the hepatic vein. Central vein joins to form the big vein which is called as hepatic vein. So you tell me, where has blood entered the liver? Hepatic artery, hepatic portal vein, lacteals. From here, where has the blood entered into?
Portal area.
Into portal area. From here, where has the blood entered into? Portal area. From portal area, where will blood enter from hepatic artery into?
Sinusoid.
Sinusoids. From hepatic portal vein into
Sinusoid.
Sinusoids.
sinusoids. From lacteals into
Sinusoid.
Sinusoids.
sinusoid. Where will all the blood eventually enter?
Central vein.
Central vein.
Central vein. And what do all central veins join to form?
Hepatic vein.
Hepatic vein.
Hepatic vein. And blood leaves the liver through the hepatic vein. Now tell me, ये है hepatic artery. Hepatic artery brings in glucose. What will liver cells convert glucose into?
Glycogen.
Glycogen.
Glucose will become glycogen in the liver, in the hepatocyte. Hepatic artery brings in glucose. समझो hepatic artery brings in amino acids. तो amino acid का क्या होगा hepatocytes में?
Deamination.
Deamination to form ammonia. And ammonia का क्या होगा?
Form urea.
It will undergo ornithine cycle to form urea. Have you done excretion? Have you heard of something called ornithine cycle? Arif sir had taught you that. What is the cycle called? Ornithine cycle. So amino acid undergo deamination to form ammonia, which undergoes ornithine cycle to form urea. तो ग्लूकोज का क्या बन गया? ग्लाइकोजन. अमाइनो एसिड का क्या हुआ? डीअमाइनेशन to form ammonia, which then undergoes ornithine cycle to form urea. Are you with me, all of you? Acha, who brings fats?
Lactate.
Lacteals.
Lacteals bring fats. फैट्स का क्या होगा लिवर सेल में? What do fats form?
Glycerol.
What does fat form?
Certain hormones.
अरे लिवर में क्या बनता है जो फैट से बनता है?
Bile salts.
Bile. अरे बाबा, bile is made of fats. Bile is made of cholesterol. हाँ या ना? All of you with me? तो ग्लूकोज का क्या किया आपने? ग्लाइकोजन बनाया. अमाइनो एसिड प्रोटीन का क्या किया? डीअमाइनेशन टू फॉर्म अमोनिया एंड ऑर्निथिन साइकिल टू फॉर्म यूरिया. और फैट्स का क्या किया? फैट्स का हमने बनाया बाइल सॉल्ट्स बनाए. बाइल सॉल्ट्स आर मेड ऑफ फैट्स. हाँ या ना? तो यू टेल मी, ये जो हेपेटिक वेन बार जाएगी उसमें what is the speciality of hepatic vein? What will it have a very high concentration of?
Urea.
तो कौन सा ब्लड वेसल में सबसे ज्यादा यूरिया होता है?
Hepatic vein.
Vein has the highest concentration of urea. Hepatic vein has the highest concentration of urea. ये याद रखना, नीट पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू से hepatic vein has the highest concentration of urea. And ये है liver cells called hepatocytes. इसमें fats get converted into bile salts. And bile salts enter by capillaries into a duct which is called as bile duct. So once again, ये है liver cell, hepatocyte. Liver cell is called hepatocyte. उसमें fats get converted into bile salts and go by capillaries which are called as bile capillaries into a duct. And what is that big duct called as? That big duct is called as bile duct. तो एक्चुअली आपके पोर्टल एरिया में स्ट्रक्चर कितने हो गए? 4. There is hepatic artery. There is hepatic portal vein. There is lymph vessel. And there is bile duct. 4 स्ट्रक्चर पोर्टल वेन में हो गए. उसमें एंट्री कौन कौन करा रहा है? Who is bringing in material?
Hepatic artery and portal vein.
Hepatic artery is bringing in material. Hepatic portal vein is bringing in material.
Lacteals also.
Lymph vessel is also bringing lymph. तो तीनों स्ट्रक्चर पोर्टल एरिया से सेंट्रल वेन की तरफ जाते हैं. तीनों तीन, hepatic artery, hepatic portal vein and lacteal और lymph vessel, ये पोर्टल एरिया से सेंट्रल वेन की तरफ जाते हैं. बट उल्टी डायरेक्शन में कौन जाता है?
Hepatic vein.
Who's going in the opposite direction? Not from portal area to central vein, but from center to portal area.
Bile duct.
Bile duct. Okay, bile duct तो बाइल कैपिलरी से फैट को एब्जॉर्ब करके पोर्टल एरिया में जाते हैं. नाउ फ्रॉम पोर्टल एरिया ये बाइल डक्ट जाएगा कहां? फ्रॉम पोर्टल एरिया वेयर विल बाइल डक्ट गो? ये है लिवर, ये है लिवर. हिपैटोस व्हाट आर दीस कॉल्ड? हिपैटिक लोब्स. हिपैटिक लोब्स में ये कौन है? आपके पोर्टल एरिया. ये कौन है? आपके पोर्टल एरिया. पोर्टल एरिया में ये है सेंट्रल वेन, ये है बाइल हेपाटोसाइट्स. हेपाटोसाइट से बाइल गोज इन द बाइल डक्ट. बाइल गोज इन द बाइल डक्ट एंड ये है बाइल डक्ट, ये है बाइल डक्ट, ये है बाइल डक्ट, ये है बाइल डक्ट, ये है बाइल डक्ट. तो ऑल बाइल डक्ट्स collect bile to form something called as left hepatic duct and right hepatic duct. तो ये है bile duct of all portal area. ये है bile duct of all portal area to form right hepatic duct and left hepatic duct. तो ये है पोर्टल एरिया और पोर्टल एरिया में से बाइल डक्ट passes into right hepatic duct and left hepatic duct. Left hepatic duct and right hepatic duct join together to form a duct which is called as the common hepatic duct. Left hepatic duct and right hepatic duct join to form the common hepatic duct. Common hepatic duct opens into a duct called as cystic duct, which opens into your gallbladder. ये दिया है NCERT में. What is the duct of the gallbladder called?
Cystic duct.
Cystic duct. And ध्यान से सुनना, bile enters from liver cell. ये है liver cell. By bile capillary, bile enters into bile duct of the portal area. Portal area से bile will enter into right hepatic duct and bile will enter into left hepatic duct. Left hepatic duct and right hepatic duct join together to form the common hepatic duct. Common hepatic duct joins the cystic duct, where bile is stored in the gallbladder. And ध्यान से, cystic duct joins the common hepatic duct to form a duct called as the common bile duct. And common bile duct joins the pancreatic duct to form the hepatopancreatic duct, which opens into the duodenum guarded by a sphincter. What is that sphincter called?
Sphincter of Oddi.
Sphincter of Oddi. तो हैव यू अंडरस्टूड इनसाइड आउट? पूरा ट्रैक हमने किया परफेक्टली कि ये है हिपैटोसाइट्स, ये है हिपैटोसाइट्स, और हिपैटोसाइट्स में से बाइल निकल के आया पोर्टल एरिया में, और ये है पोर्टल एरिया। पोर्टल एरिया में वेयर डज बाइल एंटर इनटू? बाइल डक्ट। वेयर डज बाइल एंटर इनटू? बाइल डक्ट। वेयर डज बाइल डक्ट ओपन इनटू? लेफ्ट हेपाटिक डक्ट and right hepatic duct. From left lobe of liver, left hepatic duct. From right lobe of liver, right hepatic duct. What do left hepatic duct and right hepatic duct join to form?
Common hepatic duct.
Common hepatic duct. What do left hepatic duct and right hepatic duct join to form? Common hepatic duct. Common hepatic duct. What does common hepatic duct join?
Cystic duct.
Cystic duct from gallbladder. Common hepatic duct joins the cystic duct from gallbladder. Cystic duct. Cystic duct. So cystic duct and common hepatic duct join to form the duct called as the common bile
Common
duct.
bile duct.
So once again, left hepatic duct and right hepatic duct join to form the common hepatic duct. Common hepatic duct joins the cystic duct. Left hepatic duct, right hepatic duct join to form common hepatic duct. Common hepatic duct joins the cystic duct. Cystic duct and common hepatic duct join to form the common bile duct. And common bile duct joins the pancreatic duct to form the hepatopancreatic duct. Hepatopancreatic duct opens in the duodenum guarded by the sphincter of Oddi. हाँ या ना? सबको समझ में आया? Correct. And then we have the pancreas. Pancreas में सिर्फ दो चीजें याद रखनी है. ये है exocrine cells. Exocrine cells which are called as acinine. What are exocrine cells called? Acinine. They give out pancreatic juice which has a pH of 8.8. What is the pH of pancreatic juice? 8.8. Exocrine cells which give out enzymes. Exocrine cells which give out enzymes. What are the cells called as? Acinine. And the pH and the juice called as the pancreatic juice with the pH of 8.8. So once again, can you tell me mouth का pH कितना है?
6.8.
6.8. Stomach का pH कितना है?
1.8.
1.8. Intestine का pH, duodenum का pH कितना है?
7.8.
7.8. और पैंक्रियाटिक जूस का पीएच कितना है?
8.8.
8.8. Everything ends with 0.8. Everything. Mouth 6.8, stomach 1.8, intestine 7.8, pancreas 8.8. Okay, तो ये exocrine part है. And then endocrine part, you have A cells or alpha cell which secrete glucagon. B cells or beta cell which secrete insulin, and D cells or delta cells which secrete somatostatin, जो हमने hormones में already किया था. All called the islets of Langerhans. चलो, everybody clear with this? I will give you a 2 to 3 minute break. You can eat something, drink some water, do something. I will see you in exactly 2 minutes. Okay? So 2 minute का break है and I'll be back. Ciao. See ya.